Hi, I'm Dan, and in this lesson we're going to be looking at everything you need to know about how to play an open D major chord. Let's look at the chord diagram first of all and work out where we're putting our fingers. At this point in the video, I'd suggest you pause it and see if you can figure out which fingers you would use before I show you. Once we're ready, let's have a look at playing it. First of all, in terms of thumb placement, you can put your thumb with the pad on the middle of the neck. See this sort of middle line here going down the neck? Leave your thumb fairly straight and then put your fretted fingers where they're meant to be on the strings. However, for open chords, I would recommend having your thumb near the top or even slightly popping over the top like that. So sort of somewhere near the top of the neck, see this top bit here, or having it completely popping over the top like that. The low E string is not played, so we need to keep it quiet either by using a bit of our thumb or by being really careful with the pick. The A string is the same, generally. Sometimes I'll include it. If it depends on the context. If I'm playing on my own or I'm backing up a singer and I want to fatten the sound up a little bit, I'll include it. If I'm playing in a band and I don't need to fatten the sound up, I'll leave it out. The way we keep it quiet is the same as the E string. You can either use a bit of your thumb, that's quite tricky to get all the way over, or you can just be really careful with your pick. The D string is open. The G string, 2nd fret, index finger. The B string, 3rd fret, ring finger. And the high E string, 2nd fret, middle finger. The D major chord should sound like this. However, if you're new to guitar, there's a strong possibility it won't sound quite like that. So let's isolate what could be wrong with it. If you're new to guitar, your ears aren't going to know yet what a chord should and shouldn't sound like. So here's how I encourage people to learn not only how to play a chord, but also what it should sound like. With our fingers in position, let's play the chord one string at a time. The low E should be muted. I'm doing that with my thumb, just popping over the top. You don't have to be right over if you're just muting the low E. Just needs to be a little bit of flesh touching that low E string. The A string, let's keep it muted for this one. I'll do that by just being careful with the pick. As previously mentioned, you can get right over with your thumb, so you can try that as well. You can do it like that, keep it quiet that way. The only thing if you're doing that is you've got to be careful that when you get all the way over, that you don't start fretting the low E string. So it's a tricky one, that one, to get them both muted like that. It's doable though. Let's check the D string. Yeah, that's working. G string. That's working. So far we've got two nice notes. Let's check the B string. It's kind of there, but it's a little bit rattly. Probably just not pressing hard enough. There it is. Just pressed a tiny bit harder. Just the minimum amount required to get that note ringing. And let's check the high E. Something's not right. It's a little bit dead. Let's check what's causing that. I'm not going to move my middle finger. I'm going to take my ring finger off and see if this note suddenly starts working. It does. Put the ring finger back down. It's gone. Take the ring finger off. And that note on the high E is still working. So we know it's got to be something to do with this ring finger. Odds are it's that the ring finger, the tip of it, the end of your finger isn't stood up enough. So we need to get it nice and pointy and see if that, first of all, if that ring finger note still works with this new posture on the B string. It does. And have we stood it up enough to allow the high E string note to ring? We have. So, this is what it should sound like. And if we include the A string, just kind of adds a bit of bottom end to it. Learn what the chord should sound like by playing it slowly, one string at a time. Don't just pick the chord up and bash away. It'll kind of sound like a chord, but it might not be quite right. And if you do that, you might eventually learn what it should sound like, but it'll probably take you 10 times as long. So slowly, check they're all ringing. When you're fixing things, make sure that things you've fixed, the fingers you've got set, don't move when you make new adjustments. When things do go wrong, it's usually a combination of, or one of, these things. Not pressing with the right pressure, be that too hard or too soft. Too soft and it won't ring properly, too hard and it'll bend the note ever so slightly out of tune, which we don't want. Fretting in the wrong part of the fret, be that too low down, or so high up that you're actually on the fret, where we get the note, but it's a little bit dead. So where possible, you want to be just behind the fret, and sometimes with chords, it's necessary to be more in the middle of the fret. And finally, some part of the finger, be that the tip, the underside of the tip, or even down here, the base of the fingers, if any of them or any of those parts are touching a string they shouldn't be touching, it will cause that string to not ring. So you've got to be able to stand the fingertips up a little bit where necessary and make space for all the strings to ring. All of this is about problem solving. What you're hearing is an effect of your left hand. If the result is an unwanted effect, it's up to you to figure out the cause and fix it. Hopefully this has been useful to you. If it has, please consider signing up to my Patreon so I can continue to make videos like this. And if you'd like help playing other chords, if you subscribe to my channel, there'll be more videos like this to help you along your journey. Thank you and see you next time.